At the beginning of the movie, we are told that in 1832, a chemistry professor named Losif Gomel presented his thesis to the Imperial Science Academy of St. Petersburg, claiming that a new type of silver lens could catch a person's soul in addition to light. This turns out to be accurate even after Gomel receives criticism from the Academy, leading to the establishment of a ritual in which deceased people's souls are transferred into new bodies. Next, we witness Victor, a photographer, getting ready to picture his deceased spouse by placing carved wooden eyeballs on her eyelids. His wife's head is now bowed as he prepares to take her picture. He turns around and presses her head firmly, but she still bowed her head the second time. When he goes to set it again, he finds that someone is behind him, but no one is there, which infuriates him even more. And then, at last, he succeeds in taking her picture. Then, he goes to a village, where we find out that his wife Olga passed just a few hours earlier and that he intends to use her ring to transfer his wife's soul into a young peasant girl. When he gets there, the people are protesting. A man tries to stop him and tells Victor that he won't allow him to do this, but Victor shoots and kills him, which scares all the villagers. The girl's finger is then sealed with the ring, and as he is about to bury the casket containing the dead wife, it starts to tremble violently. When the townspeople and he see this, they become quite afraid. Suddenly, a hand emerges and breaks the coffin. When the photographer opens the coffin, he discovers that Olga's soul has been transferred. Then, he notes in his journal that Olga hasn't returned in a few days. Although he found her new appearance weird, he knew that her soul would not be in danger as long as the film continued. He made sure they would soon be together again by hiding the movie somewhere that no one could locate it. When he glances back, her body is not on the bed when she awakens one day in her new body. Then he notices her standing in back of him. When he takes the blanket from her face, Olga asks him what happened to her, and he tells her that she is alive once again. Olga is surprised to see her. When she realizes that she has changed, she becomes frightened and asks him what he did. And this is where the scene ends. We see Nastia, a college student, in the present, and we learn that she is getting married the following day. Afterwards, she is spotted with her fiancé Ivan, and Nastia informs her mother that he works as a photographer. Next, their wedding, which we witness. Ivan informs Nastia early the next morning that he must go see his sister Lisa. They reach his family's house, which is tucked away in a forest. Here, Ivan presents Lisa, his sister, as well as her nephew and niece, to Nastia. She is greeted by Lisa, who informs her that their great-grandfather invented the daguerreotype and that their family is full of photographers. Lisa tells Nastia that the tent is ready and extends a warm welcome to her family throughout dinner. The day after tomorrow, the guests will arrive, and they will have the wedding following their family custom. Ivan announces that they will return the next day after learning from Lisa that she wants to offer something to Nastia because she is now a member of their family. Saying it's their grandmother's ring, she hands her a ring. However, it is evident that Ivan becomes enraged and puts the ring back in the box after being unhappy that Nastia took it. He then turns to face Lisa. Later, Nastia hears a sound while having a bath, and the door opens on its own. Then, to her amazement, she notices herself walking past. She goes outside to investigate. She sees clones of herself acting in a predictable way, leading her to believe that she is Lisa. Lisa appears out of nowhere, and Nastia is dumbfounded by what has transpired. Currently, Nastia discovers that Ivan is not in bed when she wakes up late at night. When she emerges in search of him, she discovers Ivan and Liza quarreling over whether to keep Nastia here, with Ivan threatening to leave. Nastia heard a noise from behind the pictures she was seeing on the wall the following day. There, she discovers that the entire house has ventilation. When Lisa arrives, Nastia informs her that she heard a voice from that location. Lisa responds that occasionally kids play there. Then, Nastia queries her, "Where is Ivan?" She responds by telling her that he has gone into town to visit his pals. After Lisa leaves, Nastia phones Ivan, but his number isn't available. Lisa later gives her the pictures of those deceased individuals. She informs her that their great-grandfathers were their clients. They owned a photography studio. People back then believed that they could trick death and stay alive as members of the family. She then asks to try on a wedding dress after displaying it to her. She begs her to wear the outfit to her wedding tomorrow, stating that it belonged to their grandmother. The garment was passed down from mother to daughter. She wears her great-grandmother's ring while conversing and removes Ivan's from her finger. Later, Nastia detects a sound coming from the cabinet as she is using her laptop to watch a video. She discovers Lisa's son as she opens the cabinet and discovers a hidden passageway within. Telling her that Tanya became stuck on the wall, he begs her for assistance. He delivers Nastia to Tanya when she follows him to the vent. She frees Tanya after noticing that her leg become trapped between some pipes. She then notices a chamber there, though. She sees some antique items lying around and finds the picture of the bride that Victor had concealed at the start of the movie. Additionally, we catch a glimpse of a face emerging from the shadows outside. She contacts Ivan once more after that, but his number is still unavailable. Subsequently, while styling her hair in front of the mirror, she hears a noise and recognizes herself standing behind her. She runs out in terror upon realizing this, only to collapse on the ground and pass out as she sees herself outdoors once more. She now goes inside the house when she wakes up in the middle of the night and sees a maid running downstairs, whereupon Victor inquires about someone. Then he is prevented from entering by a man who warns him that she is extremely dangerous. However, Victor ignores him, and the terrified man flees. The door shuts as soon as Nastia approaches that room. When she questions Lisa about Ivan once she wakes up on her bed, she is informed that he will return tonight. After that, she presents her to Dr. Aglaya, who examines her and assures her that there is nothing to be concerned about. Afterwards, she leaves a voicemail for Ivan, telling him that strange things are happening here. She hears Aglaya and Lisa now as she tries to get away, and Aglaya warns her that if something goes wrong, it will destroy them all. And Ivan is the reason they are in danger. Then, just as Nastia is about to depart in the car, she notices Aglaya wandering close by while holding a lantern. When she discovers her feeding and imprisoned Ivan in the second house in the story, she follows her there. It becomes clear that the family had locked him up there following his quarrel with Liza, suggesting that they want Nastia to stay. Nastia then tries to speak with Ivan after Aglaya departs, but he sees her and orders her to leave because she is going to come here. After that, the lights go out, and Nastia begins to bleed from her nose. She then hears a noise behind her, and Ivan urges her to close her eyes and cease breathing. Before she could make sense of anything, though, she meets a white-skinned spirit dressed in a black wedding gown. She attempts to run away after becoming afraid of her, but tumbles into a pit. Lisa then tries to escape, but her father finds her and takes her back to the house. Here, Aglaya offers her some tea, but they make her drink it against her will when she refuses. She then passes out. She now enters the same scene in her dream when she finds Victor with his ailing wife and notices that her eyes are all red. Her body twitches after she informs Victor that she has passed away. However, she abruptly rises up and fixes her gaze on Victor's eyes, which causes his eyes to bleed and he dies. The bride kills him, turns around, and says, "Let me take your body." When Nastia awakens the following day, the wedding has already been planned, despite her attempt to attack her. She notices that everyone is being kind to her, and she is thrilled to see Ivan there, who assures her that everything will be alright. Afterwards, Lisa and Aglaya arrive and take her to show her something. She notices that the family's past matriarchs are all in the same photo as she's getting dressed because she recognizes them by their faces. When she tells them it's the same woman she saw, they respond that it's their mother. Right then when she spots Tanya there, she follows after her and tries to flee, but the ritual participants tie her up. After that, they begin to take her somewhere, and Aglaya stops Ivan from trying to assist her. Now when Nastia is imprisoned in a room, she meets the live skeleton that is controlled by the bride's ghost. When Nastia sees it, she becomes frightened and the skeleton begins to move toward her. Just as it gets close, Ivan saves her and drags her outside the home. He now admits that his family is cursed as he drives her away. Mother is the name of the entity she saw in the bedroom. When his father attempted to kill her, she murdered his mother and rendered him unfit. Her current body is failing, thus she needs a replacement. However, the candidate ought to be linked to someone in the family. He also says that the bride's photo must be destroyed in order to eliminate any remaining possibilities of soul transfer. When Nastia divulges that she is aware of the location of the photo, the ritual participants T-bone them, seizing Nastia and leaving Ivan for dead. When Nastia returns to the manor, the red diamond ring is placed on her in order to transfer the bride's soul. After that, she is placed in the ground and sealed inside the coffin. Nastia begs for assistance, but no one comes to her aid. Eventually, she becomes afraid as she sees the bride's spirit approaching her, and the bride eventually takes possession of her. While Aglaia and the other members of the cult observe the coffin trembling, we also see that Ivan has survived the accident. Here a possessed Nastia rises to address the crowd when the coffin is opened, declaring the body is ruined, before convulsing and sinking back into the coffin. When Aglaia approaches the bride, she apologizes, but the bride screams and kills her as everyone flees in terror. Here, Lisa is leaving with her kids when they are confronted by the bride. Meanwhile, Ivan returns to the house and discovers the unconscious Nastia. Hearing this, the bride vanishes from the scene, but then reappears and screams, throwing Lisa through the window and sending the kids running to the hidden passage. Now, when Nastia and Ivan enter the house, the injured Lisa begs them to save her kids. Nastia remembers that photograph and tries to enter that room through the vent, but as they do, the bride appears and attacks Ivan. When Nastia arrives in the chamber with the kids, the bride's ghost is also present. After that, Liza urges Nastia to go with the kids and removes the red diamond ring from her. Then, after confronting the bride and donning the ring, she becomes possessed by the ghost. Here, Ivan tears down a wall, and Lisa shows up and whisks Tanya away while Nastia sends the children outside to meet him. After grabbing the picture, Nastia approaches Liza, as Liza turns to face her and begins to giggle. She is about to murder Tanya when Nastia gives her the picture and she walks away from Tanya. After Lisa abruptly strikes her and warns her not to break the picture, she drops the picture and misplaces it. Right now, Liza is about to kill Nastia when the youngster reaches out to her, causing her to lose control of her. After telling Nastia to tend to her kids, she breaks the lantern to sacrifice herself, letting Ivan, Nastia, and the kids escape. Nastia then witnesses Lisa smoldering and dying in the fire. Subsequently, the four depart from the residence. A new family moves into the house a few years later with plans to buy and make renovations. A figure glides past them as they peer through a hole they detect in the wall, and the movie ends here. In order to never miss new video updates, kindly click the bell icon, like my channel, and subscribe.